my gamers and tax evaders alike, this is now my third video that I'm recording today because I'm going to Maine this weekend and I'm not going to be able to record videos, so this is what we're doing! This is what we're doing! Episode 3 in one day, baby! I gotta make one more too after this, haha! Alright, so last week we explored Marvel's What If, and we decided that the first episode was categorically dog shit. The pacing was completely off, the writing was terrible. It was basically the entire first plot of Captain America, but just slapped some tits onto Captain America. That's a quick recap right there for you. Now, the second episode went in a different direction. This time, it wasn't what if Captain Carter was a Captain America? What if T'Challa was Star-Lord? Okay, that's interesting setup. Now, I actually enjoyed this episode, which I am shocked to be saying right now. It was not something that I was like, oh my god, this is so good. This is truly Kino right here. The standards that Marvel has set with their shows recently, it's so low that at this point, this show, which was mediocre at best, looked pretty fucking good compared to the rest of it. For this episode, rather. So this video is gonna have spoilers, obviously, so if you're planning on watching the episode and you haven't seen it yet, don't watch this video, duh. But if you're not planning on watching the show or you already watched it, let's go and do a little recap, shall we? So we know that in the main MCU timeline, Yondu was sent to Earth to pick up Peter Quill so that he could deliver it to Ego, who is Peter Quill's father, who is also a planet, alien thing. But the difference in this timeline was instead of Yondu going to get Peter Quill himself, he sent some of his subordinates to go and get Peter instead. And these guys are aliens, so they don't know they can't tell the difference between a young black child and a young white child. So they make the mistake and they accidentally pick up T'Challa instead, and they kind of explain this like, oh, but he was giving off a lot of his celestial energy, which was because, oh, there was a vibranium asteroid underneath of the Wakanda. Sure, okay, why not? It's not the farthest leap that you could make. I guess it's not, I don't care. Little stupid, but it's not horribly dumb. And so basically, Star-Lord ends up being T'Challa because for whatever reason, Yondu brings him on board, even though there was no reason for him to bring him on board. I mean, so the characters are already pretty different from how they are in the show, in the movies. It's just off. Yondu doesn't really act like Yondu. And if you remember at the beginning of the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, we have that great scene where Peter Quill is going through that alien planet whilst listening to Come and Get Your Love, you know, in the background. That scene, that's basically how the show started with that scene, but instead of it being Peter Quill, it's T'Challa who is Star-Lord. And things go off the rails pretty quickly because, you know, he goes in and he steals the orb like he does at the beginning of the movie, and then the three people show up to go and steal the orb from him so that, you know, the guy that works for the one Ronin, whatever the fuck, there's so many characters, man. And so this is where things immediately, I was like, uh-oh, this is gonna go badly, isn't it? Because the guy who's pointing the gun at him in Guardians of the Galaxy in the movie, he goes, you might have heard of me, I'm Star-Lord, and he goes, who? In the first, you remember that? Well, in this one, he takes off his helmet and he's like, and the other guy goes, Star-Lord, oh my god, you're so famous. I love you. You're great. You're so awesome. I have so much respect for you. And so it looks like this guy's just kind of a fucking idiot in this plotline. I don't know why he's an idiot now in this one. He wasn't an idiot in the first one. I don't think he was. In like the original Guardians of the Galaxy, the guy at the beginning of the movie did not seem like an idiot. Why? Holy shit, I'm talking so fast. It's like I'm in double speed right now. So T'Challa ends up taking this guy on as one of his crew members after they do a little battle, which has got some funny haha moments. So funny, so haha, so fun me. And so I guess it turns out that in this plot line, you know, in the original plotline, Peter Quill kind of becomes one of the Ravagers, and he doesn't have a good relationship with Yondu, and he ends up falling out with Yondu and leaving him. But in this plotline, T'Challa is like such a good guy compared to Peter Quill. He's such a good kid. So he ends up like convincing Yondu that instead of being like a normal Ravager, where they just steal from people then sell it for money, they steal from people and then give it to the poor, like fucking Robin Hood. That doesn't seem very Yondu-y to me, but you know, I'm not a writer for Marvel. Whatever, man. You know, the characters don't act like themselves. They don't act like themselves. But we're introduced to T'Challa's crew, basically, the crew. You know, that's like Yondu, that one guy, the like Axehead or whatever the fuck his name is, that, you know, he's one of the crew, that like goofy white guy. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Who's the last one? Oh yeah, Thanos. Yeah, Thanos! Thanos is one of the crew members for fucking T'Challa. What? And this is explained away so fucking stupidly. In this timeline, Thanos was still a big bad guy who wanted to do big bad things, like genocide half of the population of the entire universe. But in this one, they explain it away as, T'Challa talked him out of it. He just talked him out of it. Fucking stupid. Fucking dumb. They just wanted an excuse to put Thanos in the fucking show for that, like, oh my god, what? Thanos is in this? No way. You guys gotta check. Oh my god, let me get onto Twitter and tell everybody, guys, Thanos is in this episode. You guys gotta go watch. It's pretty fucking dumb. And it's pretty transparent, too. I mean, that's why they did it. Come on. What? Thanos would not be on T'Challa's fucking side. But I'll tell you what, the plotline that comes from there, following all of this, was actually a lot of fun. They do kind of a heist thing, like a play on a heist, and I'm kind of a fan of the heist genre. I think it's kind of fun, as formulaic as it may be. And it turns out that in this plotline, because Thanos is not, like, the big bad guy anymore, the Collector, if you might remember from Guardians of the Galaxy and also from Infinity War, the Collector took over in this plotline as, like, the main bad guy, like the Thanos of this plotline. And I gotta say, the Collector he's a good villain. I would have loved to see a Collector like this in the main plotline of the MCU. This was a really cool character. I really liked the Collector in this one. He had all of this shit that he had collected, all these weapons and things like that. It was interesting, and I loved the character design. He looked so fucking goofy. He was ripped. He had the crazy hair and, like, the thing on his, and, like, the robe. It was cool. I liked it. And, they end up beating him and all that, and Thanos is there still. Why? And I thought it was so cool, because the Collector had Hela's hat thingy, helmet, crown, whatever, from Thor Ragnarok, that is. So he's able to, like, shoot fucking spears, but I'm also a little confused on that, so that means that it's the helmet that gave her the ability to shoot spears? I thought that she just, like, had the ability to shoot spears out of... I don't care. I don't care. I'm not gonna worry about the logistics here, people. All I know is that it worked pretty well as a plotline. I thought it was fun, enjoyable, I liked it. Overall, there's definitely problems with it, like the fact that T'Challa is very quick to forgive Yondu after it turns out that Yondu has been lying to him for his entire fucking life about Wakanda having been destroyed because Yondu doesn't want T'Challa to leave him. Which is kind of the same thing that happens in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but in this one it's kind of stupider because, they're dealing with such a shorter time frame that they can put this whole story into, so they have to forgive Yondu quicker. Which whatever. Overall, though, I did enjoy it. I think episode 2 was worth watching, maybe, if you're into that kind of thing. And I gotta say, you know what? I will watch episode 3 following this one. I think it was good enough to entice me for a third episode. Why not? Let's see if they keep the ball rolling in a good way or if they fuck it. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I gotta throw this out here, by the way. The pacing on this episode was so much fucking better than the first one. The first one was just plot, 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 plot. No fucking break. No breaks whatsoever. But this one felt like a much more well-structured story where you could actually follow along and everything happens at the time that you feel like it's supposed to happen. It's still quick. It still could have been told in a longer format, I think, with extra room for more information, more character development. But overall, I thought that they did a pretty good job with the story, being able to fit it into like that 30 minutes that they had. It was much better writing on this episode. Far better writing on this fucking episode. Anyway, that's my episode review. My whole channel's just gonna become me reviewing MCU content. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbie. Stick your thumb up my ass. This will be my last video ever, and I'll see you all in hell. Goodbye.